Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and on the foothills of Gunung Ranjan mountain near the small town of Serian in Sarawak in Malaysia and Borneo, there is a huge tree. The bole is probably, let's see, the closer I come to those ancient mangoes, the bigger they get. The bole is probably at least 1.5 meters in diameter. And the first branches, well, branch from the tree like 20 meters above ground. It's about, 35 meters tall, I would say, at 1.5 meters thick. And beneath it, the ground is littered with grasses. Well, the ground is littered with thousands of tennis balls. Look at that. Those fruits are perfectly round to slightly flattened. They have a very thick green skin, and if you don't know how to deal them, you're gonna get hurt. Because this is a close relative of poison ivy. It's in the family Anacardiaceae. It's a mango, but not one of the mangoes we are all familiar with in the West. In the West, we basically have one single species, Mangifera indica. In very rare occasions, some very dedicated collectors will have a queenie or a casturi or something like that. But here in Borneo, they have a lot of Mangifera indica varieties, but they also have a lot of mango species. Most of those just grow in the deep jungle. Nobody cares about them, but there is a handful which are actually being cultivated. And this one here was either planted or left alone when the ancient jungle was cut down. Okay, as I said, this can be dangerous. I would prefer to open it with gloves and under running water, because last time I bit into one of those. Well, have you ever eaten poison ivy? Then welcome to the club. So, let's open it. Yeah, as I said, a very thick rind, which you have to be very careful with, because that's where the poison ivy juices are. A big thick seed, and in between the tasty flesh. Well, let me show you here on some of the fruits which are lying around. You might think that this is tasty juice you should lick off, or here. Sometimes I like to eat those drops which collect on the peduncles of Mangifera indica. Don't do this with this one, folks, and also not with some other jungle mangoes. This is pure urushiol. Urushiol is the active compound in poison ivy. So, I'm very careful here. I must not touch the rind. See, the rind is very thick, like 1 centimeter thick. Wow. Even the taste of the edible parts is quite crazy. Okay, let me rub off my hand on as many jungle leaves as possible. I mean, it's only the thick skin on my fingers, but still. Well, that taste. Maybe I forgot to mention that this and most other jungle mangoes, they smell like diesel and machine oil. Well, the taste when you eat it is mostly sour, almost no sweetness. There are some Asam Kamantan which have a bit more sweetness, but this is just sour. And also a taste of machine oil. People here usually don't eat it, but use it to make sambals or sauces. Although once I had an Asam Kamantan salad at an Iban longhouse, where I burnt my mouth because I chewed some off the skin. Yeah, so be careful with this. So folks, if you ever come to Borneo, you can find most of the jungle mangoes which have a name at the local markets. Just be careful. They will usually tell you those are not for eating. Those are for making sambal. Those are very sour. And maybe they will even refuse to sell you some of those, or be very reluctant to sell you some of those, because they don't know if you know how to eat them. If you want to eat an Asam Kamantan, use gloves or just 2 plastic bags. Wash your knife under running water after you peel. After you peel the fruit, better wash it with detergent and then and also wash the fruit under running water, and only then, after you have peeled it, washed it and washed your knife, only then start cutting the fruit. The rest of the fruit is more or less safe if you can get past the sourness and past the machine oil taste. Yeah, incredibly interesting and variable jungle mangoes here in Borneo. Well, this was the Asam Kamantan, a very plentiful harvest in this case, and probably some people collected a couple of them, but nobody needs so much around here. That's why they are lying around. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich fruit forests of Borneo, and of course don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.